Hi everyone. We once again welcome you back to another episode of the school's official podcast, Unscripted. I am Adrija Bhattacharya from 11G.
And I am Atmika Vishwanath from 11C.
And this is Aditi Galigole from 11E.
And in today's episode, we discuss one of the most disputed and sought after topics. Yes, you guessed that right, the exam season and ways and means to deal with it. In today's episode, we're going to delve into some of the most commonly asked questions which will be answered by the Vice Principal of the Senior Secondary School and Head of Activities. She is a dedicated, inspiring individual. She is Miss Soma Bhattacharjee. So without further ado, let us delve into the questions.
So how are you doing today, ma'am?
I'm good.
Ma'am, so could you tell us a little bit about your experiences and your childhood which has led you to take up this position?
Yeah, I'll start with childhood.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I had schooling from a convent school, and then I did my 11th and 12th from a junior college. So I've seen that is why I'm so particular about the discipline, because it was a missionary convent school, okay, under nuns. So 13 years I've spent in the convent, and so basically I look forward for a very disciplined environment. Now, childhood, yes, I was not extraordinary in any of the fields like sports or co-curricular activities, or I was a very average student, but genuinely hardworking student. So, hard work is something that has helped me to reach where I am today, and I inspired to become a doctor, but I failed to get through the entrance, and in 1988 I had appeared for my entrance exam. So in those days we did not have any reserve quotas, general quota it was very difficult to crack, and I compromised doing my graduation, then post graduation I have in 2 subjects in English and also in environmental science, and I have done my B.Ed. So what inspired me to become a teacher is, after that profession I was very confused. I was married at a very young age of 22, and what will be a safe profession at that point of time? So it was a compromise. I went through a lot of depression. I had my dreams, but somewhere I failed to reach to my dreams. So those compromises were made, and then slowly when I stepped into the profession, I saw I was enjoying it. And I worked in India for around 3.5-4 years. 1998 I stepped into Qatar. My children were very small at that period of time, so when my younger one was around 3.5 and she was about to go to school, I joined, because I used to be depressed after all the education. What am I doing just sitting at home? So I was very clear that I have to do something with my definitely the responsibilities of a family life. And then I joined Shantiniketan Indian School, because that was very close to my house, for 3.5 years, from 2001 to 2004. 2004 August I joined DPS-Modern Indian School, and I think I completed 18 plus years here. So it's a long journey. Every step was a learning step for me. I grew as a teacher, I can say, in Qatar, and I pushed myself. I told I was not an extraordinarily smart person who would take up challenges so easily, but then as I pushed myself, I saw, oh, I can do so many things. Okay, that gave me the courage, and that is why what happens, children where I see they can't speak, or they are scared to open up, I usually protect them, and I try to push them. Sometimes I talk to the students separately, giving my story to them, because I remember in 6th standard also, anybody asked me my name, I would hide behind my mother. even though I was studying in one of the best schools. So that was my confidence level at that point of time. But then school, if you see, DPS gives you a bigger platform and helps all the students to come up, to grow, to speak, to, to spread your wings, which in those days we have got chances, but not to this extent. So I learnt more after joining in DPS as a teacher. I got that platform more, and slowly I marched towards wherever I am today. So this is all about my journey from my childhood to Indoba as a teacher. And I have been teaching senior school throughout. I started as a first standard teacher in Shantiniketan. Then immediately and within few months I was taking the senior classes because I came with that experience. Here also I joined as a bio teacher from 6 to 10, and then this school had the 11th batch, then 12th batch. So from the first year of 10th and 12th board exam, I was the teacher of bio, and still I am the HOD of bio department.
Yes, ma'am. It was truly inspiring. So, though the concept of exams has its roots dating back to the 7th century, we still see that the very word exam still creates a sort of fear in our minds. The education system has undergone several changes in the past several decades, yet we have not been able to reduce the tension and fear that still pervades during the examination days.
In fact, as per the NCRB data, nearly 2,500 students commit suicide every year due to failure in exams. In the last 7 years, between 2014 to 2020 itself, India has faced a tremendous loss of nearly 12,582 student lives due to stress caused by exams.
It is true that the pandemic has worsened the situation, but proper guidance and counseling can save many lives and prove that exam fear is non-existent.
So, it is often said that academic results are an indicator in the success of one's life. To what extent do you agree or disagree with this?
No, I will not agree that academic, results and success actually makes a person, because I have seen children, students of this school who have not performed maybe in 12th or 10th are doing extraordinary in their life. So definitely marks are required for admissions in colleges and universities, but then it doesn't decide the future of the child, because there can be areas where the marks are not important. So there are a lot of skills where marks do not matter at all. Children with those skills, they flourish wherever they go. So I don't agree at all that marks are important, because I can give a small story here. One of my students who I can say did not do well in bio, okay, and in the board exam, and I was really very upset. So he comes back, he meets me, he comes to my house and he meets me personally, because at this point of time he is a very successful businessman and he has employed 4 of our students who were toppers of the school. So this very well speaks that it is not the result, and he is not a 12th, I won't say 12th passed out student, but he is not a graduate, but he is a successful businessman. So he came back to tell me that marks don't matter, ma'am. I have your best students employed under me in my own company. So yes, I do agree that marks don't matter, but yes, end of the day, one should be a good human being. That is what we are looking at.
Yes, ma'am, we truly agree with you. Academic success is not equal to success in life.
Yes.
So since procrastination these days has become a very big thing, like very common these days, so what would you suggest? How can we students, turn procrastination into productivity?
Productivity, here we will say that, positive thinking. If you are positive in your attitude, if you are positive and you get that environment also from at home, in school, your friends. So definitely you will see that, wherever your interests lies, you can, work on those areas and take help and see that maximum can be, achieved from those areas, right?
Yes, ma'am. That was some truly great advice. So moving on to the next question. How should a student deal with the emotional upheavals that he or she might face when they are either the highest scorer or the lowest scorer?
Highest scorers, I don't think there is much pressure, because the pressure is created by themselves because they want to still better their results and marks. But the lowest scorers, there is definitely pressure that I see, and there is pressure of performance from the society, teachers and parents. So coping up with it is again counseling methods, having good friends around you who will support you. We have lot of programs in school where peer mentoring is done. We have lot of counseling sessions in general done for students to help the students cope up with this pressure of performance that we see. But definitely most important is these children need to talk. If they are depressed, they should find a place to talk and someone who is ready to listen to them. It's very important. It can be a counselor, it can be a subject teacher, it can be a friend, it can be parents, it can be siblings also. So very important it is. And if that pressure is disturbing the child, because in today's world what I see is every day I'm having one or two parents where parents have identified that the child is depressed, and we have few cases in 11th and 12th where we have given permission to the children where they just come for half a day and they are not continuing whole day of school because they cannot have their attention span for such a long period. So physically and mentally they are very weak at this point and they need the help, and clinical help is also given to these children. So definitely there is pressure, but dealing with the pressure is talking, and there should be someone to listen to. But the child should know, the student should know where to go and talk, because when the child shares something, it should not be mocked at by the other party. So that confidence should be taken up. And if they talk, definitely there will be a solution.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm sure that advice about talking could be definitely implemented in our school. Ma'am, so what is your opinion? Like, what do you foresee in the changes regarding to the examination pattern with regard to the CBSE curriculum?
Yeah, CBSE, if you see in previous years, it was more on rote learning. Okay, direct question. They preferred, direct answers from the CBSE, NCERT notebooks and the textbooks. But at this point of time, they have also come out with a change of blueprint. That is, more of objective questions given. There are reasoning, assertive questions. So they are going for, lot of high order, thinking questions. So changes will be there, but not immediately, because after the COVID, they have already changed the set of question papers and the pattern has changed. So let's wait and watch. If there are new patterns coming up, school is always ready to cope with it, because there is a proper training from CBSE given to teachers, and teachers, in fact, once they are trained, they train the children. So it is a very scientific way of approach that CBSE has, and they will be training the teachers to cope up with whatever changes comes in the way. So that much I can say.
Yeah. So how would these changes actually affect the students, and how can they be prepared to deal with it?
See, we had CCE few years back, and that was not very successful. So they went back, they reverted back to again the old pattern with some change in the question paper. So as I said, if changes are there, Students, we train the students, teachers will train the students, we will have workshops for teachers, for students, and training will be given to the teachers and the students. So I think it won't be very difficult. What change we can foresee is, making it from rote learning to more of reasoning type of question paper where, hands-on activity will be given more importance. Research work will be given more importance. So looking forward for those type of changes in future from CBSE, because that is how children learn better than simply by hearting answers. So we look forward for those changes. As the changes are, given to us, we will implement it. So we wait for their instructions.
Yes, ma'am. So we see how peer pressure has affected several students in the past decades. How does one cope with the external pressure from parents, teachers, friends, and the society as a whole? And how can we as friends help such students dealing with exam stress due to peer pressure?
See, as a student, I also went through the pressure, because I remember whenever I had a maths exam, I would be vomiting from the morning till I finished my paper. So this exam pressure will be there, right? It is now how to cope with the pressure. Again, we are trying. Question papers, syllabus is not going to change. Pattern may become little more difficult. So it is only, training the children and making them more confident. The problem in today's world, should I say today's generation, is that they want everything easy. But it is not happening immediately, because you have to achieve something with hard work. So that hard work, end of the day, is required. You have to prepare, you have to work hard, you have to study, and then practice, especially when it is, subjects like maths, physics, chemistry, accountancy. So these are the subjects where a lot of practices are required. So pressure will be there. Marks, definitely you need marks to clear the board and then get an admission into a college. Pressure, how it can be released is, again, children should not, with the marks, when they see that they have scored less, they just withdraw into a cocoon, space. That should not be done. They should share their feelings. I said with their, colleagues, their friends, their surroundings, wherever they find the confidence, and they should talk about it. We are also having lot of programs, lot of seminars for students, for teachers. Nobody talks about teachers' mental health. It is always students. What happens to the teachers' mental health when students are unwell, students are undergoing pressure? Do you feel a teacher is happy? No, it is both sided. If a teacher sees that 50% of my students are unhappy and they are not able to cope up with the subject, they are also unhappy, right? They are not able to reach out. So it is a responsibility of both sides, student and teacher. They should try to support each other, because it's a difficult journey. It's not an easy journey, and after COVID, it has become very difficult. There is a gap which even we are trying to find out what's going wrong, because students, after being cooped up inside their rooms for 2 years, they are also not able to, speak out, share their feelings with the elders, right? So this gap has to be filled. It will take time, but then it will be bridged, no doubt, because it's a very, very smart generation. So I know they will bring a solution, and they will help the teachers also to come out with solution, because again, a happy environment of a school is only when teachers and students are happy. We also don't look only at the marks. We give more emphasis on the happiness of the children. The happy, smiling faces are something we look out for, right? And when you are happy, automatic studies, marks, everything will fall in place, because you will see the day you are upset, mind is blocked. you cannot concentrate in any of the work. So first priority is being happy, being physically well, being mentally well, and then everything falls in its own place. Till class 12, yes, I know there is a fixed curriculum which has to be followed, which has to be, studied, but after that you have, you fly with your wings open, right? Why? Because, the formative years in school has given you that strength. You are prepared to take up any challenge. So I think we can help every student to reach their dreams. So yes, again, coming to your question, people should seek help by talking to a person whom the person feels confident. That is very important.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, so on an important note, what message would you like to give to the students, teachers and parents of our school? And what do you envision about the future of the secondary school of DPS-Mis?
See, secondary school of DPS Modern Indian School is, yes, every year we aim for being the toppers in Doha, and definitely if we are Gulf toppers, we are very happy. But it is okay if we are not toppers also, as long as our children are healthy and our children do well in life, That is most important for us, but then that doesn't stop us from striving and working towards the best performance that we can give. Now to the parents, my message will be not to put pressure on students because each child is very different, right? So we have to work with the strength of the child and see where the interest of the child lies. It should not be a parent is seeing his or her dream through the child. It shouldn't be. That is what I see from my experience. The pressure is on children and they do not, why do they hide the papers? Why do they hide their marks? They are not disclosing their marks to their parents because they are scared of them. So that situation should not come. These children should be very free, and after an age, parents should be friends. It should not be that children are scared to open up and talk to parents. So that will be my advice. In senior secondary school, that stage parents should be friends with their children and allow the child to speak. It is mostly, I'm also a mother. I do the same mistake when I am playing my as a mother's role. I do speak so many things, I do counsel parents, but when I am in my mother's role, I sometimes feel that I nag a lot, which you all will not like, no? As students or children of this age. I repeat the same thing again and again, not giving the time for them to react and not giving the space to the children. We talk, parents, and then we say we are mothers, we have that right, we are born with that right? So we have to, even it is for me that, we should learn to listen to our children. Only then they take time to open up. So we have to give that space to them to open up, especially to the younger kids. And for students, yes, they should try out everything, like, the co-curricular activity. It is not academics alone which is required. Wherever their strength is, today you are, a publication team is doing so well. Don't you feel it gives you a experience which you have never thought of it, right? So all these experiences we didn't have, in our school days. So we are trying to give you all so that, any one of you can choose it as a profession, right, in coming years. You can think of it. There are different professions that you can choose. So it should not be the prototype, the streams and the professions that we have known for years. But I have seen a sea change in parents' attitude where they have started appreciating and supporting their students there was in different streams like music, doing graduation with music, dance, and other, law. That is also a upcoming area where we see a lot of children taking up law and related courses. So we see a lot of change. I see parents supporting even, interior designing, then jewelry designing, different streams which are very unknown to us. So parents taking up those challenges, I would say I would appreciate those parents. And students, yes, there will be, days which may not be that good, but we shouldn't give up on 1 or 2 days, or there will be a phase of time when you feel very low. So it's okay. You cannot have the best of the best days. There are days when you have your best. So there can be days, and we have to learn lesson. We have to become strong and learn our lessons from there and become stronger for future. So that is what I want to tell students. And for teachers, my colleagues, I would say yes. I would appreciate them because I have seen how they have worked during the COVID time, 2 years, coming from a totally physical teaching to virtual teaching, where we are not so strong with, IT and computer work, but they have learnt it in no time and they have delivered and helped students. So I appreciate my team of teachers and appreciate their good work. And as I said, today's teaching is different than what we had as students. It was teacher, guru, and students were disciples. Now it is teacher as a friend. So that's the change that has to come. We have to change our outlook. We have to change ourselves so that we can give our best for students of today's generation.
Yes, ma'am, I truly agree with that. A lot of changes have happened and changes for the better. We're very proud to be a part of this DPS family with teachers who are always there for us, always there for we students. So thank you very much, ma'am, for taking time out of your busy schedule and enlightening us with your wonderful advice.
Yes, ma'am. It was a truly inspiring time with you today. Today you spoke from a teacher's perspective, a mother's perspective, a student's perspective. We learned a lot today. So we bet all of you learned all the tips and tricks you need to ace your exams and come out with flying colors. You're watching Unscripted, and next time we'll see you on another episode.